I told my aunt she's too old to wear crop tops and miniskirts. I, 26 female, have always been close to my Aunt Lisa, 52 male. She's my mom's younger sister, though sometimes she acts like she's the younger one out of the two of them. She's bubbly, loud, has this laugh that can fill a whole restaurant, and she's never been shy about dressing the way she wants. Think bright colors, sequins on a random Tuesday, animal print at church. For as long as I can remember, Aunt Lisa has been the fun aunt. She'd take me to the movies and let me eat popcorn for dinner. She bought me my first leather jacket when I was 14 because she said I needed something with an edge. She's basically been the cool, slightly rebellious figure in my otherwise pretty tame family. But lately, I've been feeling conflicted. It's not that I want her to stop being herself. I love her energy. It's just that some of the outfits she wears now feel, I don't know, mismatched with her age. And before you jump down my throat, I hate myself for even thinking like this. But the truth is, every time we go somewhere together, I notice people staring. Not in the, wow, she's gorgeous way, though she is. More in the, wait, is she serious way? And last weekend, at my cousin's housewarming barbecue, it kind of all came to a head. So, picture this. You're at a backyard barbecue, the smell of grilled burgers in the air, a couple of toddlers running around with juice boxes, someone's uncle in the corner talking way too loudly about sports. And then, through the sliding glass door, in walks my Aunt Lisa like she's strutting down a red carpet in Miami Beach. I swear you could feel the energy shift. Heads turned, conversations paused. She was wearing, I kid you not, a neon pink crop top with spaghetti straps, a ripped denim miniskirt that I'm pretty sure belonged to my cousin's girlfriend 10 years ago, and gold wedge heels that look like they could double as murder weapons if you tripped. Oh, and huge hoop earrings, like actual bracelet-size hoops. Now, here's the thing. This isn't new. Aunt Lisa has always been the showstopper in the family. When I was a kid, she was my style icon. I remember one Christmas when I was 9, she showed up in this red velvet dress with a dramatic slit and fake snowflakes sprinkled in her hair. Everyone else looked like they came from the local department store's holiday sweaters section, and she looked like she stepped off a soap opera set. Back then, it felt magical, but as I've gotten older, I guess my perspective has shifted. Maybe it's because I work in a corporate office now where fashion means navy cardigan. Maybe it's because I'm self-conscious about what people think. Or maybe it's just that creeping belief society feeds you, that there's an invisible cutoff age for certain things. And to be fair, Aunt Lisa doesn't make it easy to ignore the attention. She's loud, she laughs big, she talks with her hands. She'll tell a stranger their shirt is giving grandma's couch, and then wink. I've watched her flirt with waiters half her age. She thrives on being noticed. Still, even with all that, I've always admired her confidence. Up until recently, when admiration started getting tangled with secondhand embarrassment. And that messy mix of pride, protectiveness, and judgment, that's what made me say what I said. The barbecue was already in full swing when Aunt Lisa made her grand entrance. My cousin, 29 male, had just moved into his first house with his girlfriend, and they wanted it to be this chill open invite thing where family and friends could mingle. Burgers on the grill, coolers of beer, folding chairs in a circle, the usual. When Lisa stepped outside, the first thing I noticed was my mom's expression. She did that subtle eyebrow raise she does when she's silently screaming, "Oh my God, here we go." Then my cousin's girlfriend, who I like but don't know super well, leaned toward me and said, "Your aunt is confident, huh?" She meant it kindly, maybe, but it was the kind of comment that sticks in your head like a burr. And then I started hearing the whispers. One of my cousin's friends muttered something to another guy, and they both chuckled. A woman I didn't recognize gave Aunt Lisa a once-over that was not friendly. And even though Lisa was clearly in her element, laughing, grabbing a drink, complimenting someone's sunglasses, I couldn't shake the feeling that everyone was talking about her. Here's where my brain started its spiral. Was she embarrassing herself? Was I being a bad niece by not saying something? Was everyone assuming I must be okay with this because I was just standing there? I know it sounds ridiculous, but in that moment, I felt this weird responsibility to save her from being the butt of the joke, which, looking back, is so arrogant and condescending that I cringe even writing it. But in the moment, it felt like I was doing her a favor. And the worst part was Aunt Lisa wasn't even doing anything wrong. She was just being Aunt Lisa, talking animatedly with my cousin, laughing so hard she had to hold her stomach, sipping a hard seltzer like she was in a commercial. She looked happy. And somehow I decided that was the perfect time to pull her aside for a chat. I waited until she'd finished telling some elaborate story about getting lost in Rome in the 90s. People around her were cracking up, and I felt like the Grinch hovering nearby waiting to steal Christmas. "Hey, Aunt Lisa," I said, giving her what I hoped was a warm smile. "Can I talk to you for a sec?" She grinned and followed me toward the side of the yard, away from the crowd. "What's up, kiddo? You look like you're about to tell me you're pregnant," she teased. I laughed awkwardly, then blurted, "It's nothing huge. I wanted to say you look great, but maybe this outfit is more, I don't know, for someone younger?" The second it left my mouth, I wanted to rewind time and slap myself. Her smile froze for half a second before she let out a short laugh. "Oh, I see. You think I'm too old for a crop top." I panicked and tried to backpedal. "No, I mean, not too old. You know how people can be. I didn't want anyone to say something hurtful behind your back." She raised one perfectly drawn eyebrow. "So instead, you decided to say it to my face." That one stung. I stammered, I'm just looking out for you." Her tone shifted, softer but distant. "Sweetie, I've been dressing myself for over 50 years. I think I'll survive a few whispers." Then she smiled, but it was the polite, stranger on the bus kind of smile, and walked back to the party without waiting for me to reply. I stood there like an idiot, staring at the grass, wondering why my good intentions suddenly felt so gross. When I finally wandered back to the group, Aunt Lisa was chatting with my cousin's girlfriend again like nothing had happened, except now her laugh had this slightly forced edge to it. You know when someone's smiling but their eyes aren't in on the joke? Yeah, that. I grabbed a drink to hide my own awkwardness, but my mom immediately zeroed in on me like a heat-seeking missile. "What did you say to your aunt?" she whispered, eyebrows doing that sharp V-shape thing. "Nothing." "Uh-huh. She just walked past me looking like she'd swallowed a lemon, and that's nothing?" Before I could answer, my cousin wandered over and, in true older brother energy fashion, said loud enough for half the patio to hear, "Did you seriously tell Aunt Lisa she shouldn't wear something?" Apparently, my cousin's girlfriend had told him my little side conversation was interesting. So much for privacy. I tried to explain that I was just trying to help, but my cousin rolled his eyes so hard I thought they might fall out. "She doesn't need your fashion policing. She's literally the most confident person in this family. If anything, we should be taking notes." Ouch. Meanwhile, my friend, 27 female, who'd come with me to the barbecue, leaned in and whispered, "Honestly, I get it. You were just being honest. Better you tell her than some stranger." Which, for about 5 seconds, made me feel vindicated, until I noticed Aunt Lisa scrolling on her phone with the stiff smile and realized she was posting. An hour later, she left early, kissing everyone goodbye except me. And I'm not exaggerating, she skipped me entirely. My stomach dropped. On the way home, I checked Instagram. There it was, her story in bold white letters over a selfie of her outfit. "Wear what makes you happy. Haters gonna hate. Kisses." Sparkly emoji. I knew it was about me. Everyone who saw it probably knew it. That night, I lay in bed, replaying the whole conversation on a loop like some kind of self-inflicted torture reel. Every time I thought about her eyebrow raise, oh, I see, I felt this hot wave of embarrassment wash over me. At first, I tried to justify it to myself. I was just protecting her from judgment. She deserved to know how people were reacting. I didn't say it to be mean. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized maybe I wasn't protecting her at all. Maybe I was protecting me. Because if people were side-eyeing her, they were side-eyeing me by association. That's your aunt? And deep down, I didn't want to deal with that. The guilt started creeping in. I flashed back to when I was 19 and wore this bright yellow romper to a friend's wedding rehearsal dinner. One of the bride's aunts said, "In front of everyone, wow, that's a bold choice for your figure." I laughed it off at the time, but it stuck with me for years. I still think about it when I shop for clothes. And here I was, doing the exact same thing to someone I love. I kept wondering how she must have felt walking back into that party after I basically told her she was too old for what she was wearing. She had been having fun. She had been happy. And I snatched that away in 30 seconds. By the next morning, the pit in my stomach had doubled in size. I typed out an apology text. "Hey, Aunt Lisa, I'm sorry for what I said yesterday. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I love you, and I think you're amazing. I just handled that really badly." She replied 3 hours later. "Thanks. I appreciate it. No heart emoji. No, it's fine. Just thanks." And I knew then that I'd done more damage than I thought. For the rest of the week, I kept thinking, maybe I should just call her? Text feels too cold for something like this. But every time I picked up my phone, my stomach twisted, and I ended up putting it down. It wasn't just the short reply, it was the way it felt like she'd put a wall between us. Normally, Aunt Lisa and I would be texting memes back and forth, her sending me videos of ridiculous shoes she found online, me sending her TikToks of people over 50 absolutely killing it on the dance floor. Now, radio silence. By Friday, my mom called. "She told me about your little comment," she said, in that "I'm disappointed but trying not to scold you" voice. She said she's fine, but I can tell she's not. "I already apologized," I blurted. An apology doesn't erase how you made someone feel. And Lisa's proud of who she is. You basically told her she shouldn't be herself anymore. That hit me harder than I expected, because that is what I'd done, even if I thought I was being helpful. Later that weekend, I saw Aunt Lisa's latest Instagram post, her in another bold outfit, leopard print leggings, and a glittery top with the caption, "Life's too short to wear boring clothes." Dancing emoji, sparkle emoji. And the comments? Dozens of her friends hyping her up. "Yes, queen! Looking amazing! Style goals!" It felt like she was making a point, not just to the world, but to me. I left a comment. "Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Aunt Lisa, you look amazing." She liked it, but didn't reply, which somehow felt worse than if she'd ignored it completely. So now, here I am, a week later, still replaying the whole thing in my head and wondering if I completely screwed up. I love my aunt. She's been one of the most important people in my life, the one who made me feel cool and interesting when I was an awkward teenager, the one who encouraged me to travel, to try new things, to not care so much what other people think. And yet, when push came to shove, I did care what people think. Enough that I opened my mouth and basically told her she should shrink herself down to fit what I thought was age appropriate. The thing that keeps gnawing at me is maybe she wasn't embarrassed at all. Maybe she really was having a great time until I planted the idea that she shouldn't be. I keep imagining how it'd feel if someone told me, point blank, that my outfit made me look like I was trying too hard. That comment would live in my brain rent-free forever. I've apologized once, and I've tried to show support since then, but I can tell she's still hurt. She hasn't invited me to the usual Saturday coffee runs we do, and yeah, I'm scared this will be one of those dumb family rifts that never fully goes away. Part of me still thinks I was just looking out for her. But another part of me wonders if that's just me justifying being judgmental. I can't tell if I was genuinely concerned for her feelings or just uncomfortable because she doesn't dress how society expects a woman in her 50s to dress. And that's my problem, not hers. So, AIO, am I overreacting about the fallout? Or was I wrong from the start to say anything at all?